Alright, MLB 13 is the show, released today, along with its counterpart, The Evil Empire, a bad game, MLB 2K13. Today, excuse me, I'm going to be talking about both games and the new features, new features for MLB 13 to show. I'll talk about that later, about 2K. But, so the first feature I want to talk about is beginner mode. Some people who, I got a PS3 for Christmas, just to play the show, I can't wait. But you play your first game and, holy crud, this is hard. You can go on beginner mode, and it will teach the game to you. It will introduce, the main functions, and it'll be easy. The pitches will start right down the middle, in your sweet spot. And then once you start hitting, they'll throw more change-ups, curveballs, outside corner fastballs, inside fastballs, low inside corner, low outside corner fastballs, until, you get your result. And it gets really hard, and then you're mastering MLB The Show. Next is postseason mode, where you can recreate the playoffs. So let's say it's in October, and the White Sox and the Giants are playing in the World Series, and you want to recreate the playoffs and see what happens. Well, instead of simulating a whole season, you actually could just do playoff mode like 2K has had in the past. MLB 2K9, that's what the only good thing in the past 2K games was that mode. Now 2K has nothing on the show. The show wins in every single category. So now, let's talk about the show live. So let's just say the White Sox win the World Series over the Giants. I'm going to use that as an example. And, it's December, I'm getting bored. Why don't I recreate the whole White Sox season? Well, what you can do, instead of playing, a full season with, different uniforms, different time of day, and different, lineups, what you can do is you can actually play a game. We'll have the exact same lineups, the exact same uniforms, the exact same everything, which is great. Of course, I would probably do season mode if I wanted to recreate the season, but if you say, let's just play the whole September and postseason, you don't have to skip around and say your team wins only 70 games and you don't get it. Well, and the presentation, say Paul Konerko hits 2 grand slams the day before. The commentary will reflect. They'll say, he had 2 grand slams the last game. I think I'd walk him here. That is gigantic. That is what I would like to see in video games. That is huge. And that, I think, is the final punch in the jugular vein of MLB 2K, which just killed it off. Unfortunately, that's it. That and beginner mode really punched 2K in the jugular vein. Along with postseason, now people now they're screwed. 2K better get its game on, and learn from NBA 2K, the developers. So, Road to the Show has been tweaked a little bit. I saw an insight video by the Sports Gamer Show, leave a link, talking about, it was an interview with lead developer Ramon Russell, and Ramon said, the Road to the Show, it's not going to be like you're watching the game on TV. It's going to be like you're a player, and it's like they put a microphone on the field. So you'll hear, the only thing that would make this game really good is if they put the microphone on the field and you can hear them swear. That would be the best game ever, but of course, gotta keep it rated E for everyone. You don't want it to be a rated T game because the young audiences who parents don't buy them T-rated games, which the select few, you lose some money, but if you can download a content like that, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. That would be one of the best games of all time. Right there would be funny too. But getting back on track here, with with Road to the Show, the main complaint where I've been hearing, sometimes is it's not in depth enough like 2K. It's not like no endorsements like Head and Shoulders with Joe Mauer or post game interviews. Well, they were talking about they're going to develop and change it every single year. So how about MLB 17 The Show? Who knows? It could be a mix between MLB The Show and The Sims, which would be impossible to put down. It would be impossible to stop playing that game. But I'm going to talk about MLB 13 The Show for most of this because I know really nothing about MLB 2K because I didn't play MLB 2K12 last year. But March 5th, the release date, I can't wait. I'm going to opening day White Sox Royals, and this is going to hold me over. But getting back on track, franchise mode is the biggest boom. And it has some of my favorite features in this game. Number one is budget changing. So let's say, why don't I use the Astros as a joke franchise? And I say, okay, let's do this. And then all of a sudden, I finish 500 because I'm a boss. And, okay, my budget goes up. Say I make the playoffs because I'm in a parallel universe. Budget goes up even more. And let's say I win the World Series. My budget goes up even more. So now, the next part is player scouting. And this, has a high emphasis on the Mike Trouts and Bryce Harpers on the world. Every single draft will have a number of 1 to 3 young phenoms that will turn into the next big thing. That's what you gotta have in a world where, in a league where it's being taken over by young players. You gotta have that feature, and that was big. Another punch to the throat of 2K, which really killed it. Although now I'm gonna talk about 2K's fate. Well, really, 2K's fate and what it means for the show and why I'm really scared about this. 2K 2K12 was supposed to be their last game. They made 2K13 because otherwise the Xbox gamers would have no baseball game. They're just forced to do it. Now, I wonder what happens if 2K actually says no 2K14 and the Xbox gamers are just mad and that's it. And then people say, oh great, there's nothing to play. I don't really want to watch baseball. I don't really want to go buy tickets. Ticket sales could go down for baseball because there's a lot of Xbox only people out there that could be hurt extremely by there being no 2K14, and that creeps me out because what if baseball was not a sport, or it wasn't even near as popular as it is today, and it wasn't on TV? That would be awful. Now the show will have no pressure at all, and that is my big worry point because take an example from Madden. Take an example from 2K, no competition. Actually, 2K has competition. I take that back. Take it from Madden. No other football games out. Madden sucks. All of a sudden. I mean, you have your hardcore Madden fans, but most of the public hates Madden 13 because of the Infinity Engine. Remember MVP Baseball 2005? That was my childhood, that game. Now, what if EA makes another baseball game? What if EA buys the right for baseball? I'm really scared now, just thinking about that. And there's no show, and MVP Baseball, let's say 15, is just a mess. Infinity Engine, doesn't even work. Broken mess. There's major flaws in the game, and there's no good baseball games. All we have left is basketball and hockey for good video games. And that really hurts the baseball and football community. Video games now make your company huge because people want to go buy your product, they want to go watch the games. I'm really scared about the fate of 2K. That is very, very scary if you think about it. The fate if there's no 2K, oh my god, that will be it. Uh, there'll be a lot of people who will give up baseball because I can't play it on a video game. I have to go outside and play it, and you need a lot of people, and my friends say don't like baseball, so I'm by myself. I have no other thing but to play in a league, and of course there's not a game every day. So my retreat is my Xbox 360. Even though 2K sucks, hey, it's still baseball. Baseball is baseball. I mean, it's fun no matter what. That's what worries me. And PS3 gamers and Xbox gamers, if you own both like me, nothing to worry about not having a baseball video game. But if you have the Xbox, you should be very worried. This should be something that worries you. Although, just leave it in the hands of 2K, but you should have a mind about it. You should save up your money if you want to play a baseball game. I mean, PS3 I think should cut costs if MLB 2K stops making a game, because then there's going to be a lot of people buying PS3s. It can help Sony. There's a lot of things that kind of scare me about the next gaming generation. About the Kinect and Wii, but that would be another topic for another day. But, now it's going to be talking about 2K, just about the history, not about the game itself, because it's the same game as last year with roster updates. 2K5, part of my childhood. Love that game. Love playing it. I broke my leg when I was I don't know, 6, 7, 8 or something. I play that game all the time because there was nothing else for me to do. So I grew attached to that game. I still play it, not as often, but I still play it once in a while. MLB 2K6 didn't play as much because I still played it a lot. It's just that I didn't really sit down, 10 or 18 hours a day or 20 hours a day and play it, but 2K6 was a good game, great game. 2K7, I could only play it for about a week because what happened was it was the second year with that swing stick, which is used in a lot of games now, so it was locked in. 2K8, bad physics, but a great idea. I think it inspired franchise mode. 2K9, awful. Gary Thorne and Bill Clement gave me a headache. Or not Bill Clement. Somebody, that's NHL, whatever. 2K10 didn't play. 2K11 didn't play. 2K12 didn't play. 2K13 not even bothering. I switched to the show in 09 because that was it. I heard it was a way better game. But, hopefully the show is a lot better, or hopefully 2K is back. Part 1, see you guys later.